Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com.
Feel the ground shaking underneath, trying to take me alive.
What does romance, love, seduction, and manifestation have in common?
Can't stop me now.
Absolutely everything and victory.
Through the blood and pain game of survival.
There's something that God forgot to tell them. Don't piss that one off.
I'll be standing on my own, never gonna take my throne. I got no rival, watch 'em run away. I got no rival.
See, what happened was they pushed me too far. One thing I learned a long time ago about myself was this whole spiritual energy healing manifestation thing I don't want to say it was hit and miss. It was like it came and it went. And one thing that I realized is when people piss me off, it's like you just turned it all on. That's 100% on.
What you gonna do? We can do this face to face.
And now I'm focused. You just screwed yourself.
You say, try to tell you this in my moment. Can't take mine 'cause I own it.
And now I'm going to teach you the absolute hidden secrets to manifestation, romance, and love.
Get ready for the fall.
What's going to shock you is how easy it actually is. In fact, that is one of the biggest secrets of it all.
I'ma find my way through the blood and pain game.
One thing I want to say is, it's like this time they pushed me so far, it's like, because before being the empath, the loving, compassionate, oh, you'd forgive them and give them another chance. Like, no, it's like they pushed me completely to the other side. It's like, oh, it's like I see it from a different perspective. And I was like, oh, this is just the way they are. They're never, ever going to change. This is like every time you let down, every time you open up the door to them, they're going to sneak in, they're going to attack. So now I'm like, okay, I get the game now. And now it begins to become fun for me. For them, yeah, not so much. Because now there's no brakes. The brakes are 100% off and the gas pedal is on. You were lied to about almost everything. I'm about to reveal some more of the truths that were hidden. Verily, verily, I say unto you, for I have a mustard seed, and I am not afraid to use it. The understanding of this one teaching will change everything. It will give you your power back. It's always been there. You just didn't open the door. On accident, by the lies that you were taught. You were the one that was holding it closed the whole time. And I'm about to reveal to you what I mean. So during my awakening, I went in to talk to the pastor about how I was understanding things and what was shifting and about my awakening. And I said right here, and I opened the Bible and said, Jesus says, if ye believe, you shall receive whatever you ask for in prayer. And he kind of looked at me like, yeah. And then I said,
I got no rival, watch 'em run away. I got no rival.
and then I said, for truly I tell you, if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, throw yourself unto the ocean, and it shall be so. And nothing will be impossible for you. Matthew 17:20-21. And this pastor, he kind of, well, Michael, Jesus didn't mean what he said. And just by chance the day before, earlier in that book, I had saved a marking of the passage where Jesus said, and then I said this to him, I said, so wait a minute. And I turned to the book, the chapter, and I said, wait a minute. So Jesus, the one who said, say what you mean and mean what you say, didn't mean what he said? And he had this real deep, kind of a almost aha, oh moment. And he was like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. And in my mind, in my heart, I realized that this pastor, whether he was a good person or not, he didn't believe. Literally. And in fact, I may have actually said to him, I think I said, you don't actually believe, do you? So right here is where I separate myself from those who don't believe and those who do. Sure, there's people who memorize a lot of verses, and they can tell you what verse goes to what, and they have all the words and the names of the books memorized, but they don't actually, number one, believe what they're saying. Number two, they don't actually understand what they're saying. So what's the use in memorizing, and I'm going to cuss here, shit, if you don't understand it, if you don't believe it, especially from the book of books that says it's all about faith, which means believe. And it's all about saying believe. If you believe, you shall receive whatever you ask for in prayer. A lot of people just go, oh yeah, I believe that. But do you really? Or is it just something that you're repeating because you just want to get along with everybody else? There are those who actually believe, and then there are those who, well, just say what you want to hear. It's becoming really, really clear. The division, the line of demarcation, the separation of the wheat from the chaff, et cetera, it has been done. Sometimes you just have to listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth, literally. How massive, how huge, how unbelievably heavy is a mustard seed? It's not. It's absolutely tiny. It's extremely light to the point you probably couldn't even feel it if someone put it on you. So my niece says to me, Uncle Michael, how come whenever I really, really want something, I can't get it no matter what it is, even if it's just this $5 little toy that everyone at school has? I have the money, it's just everywhere I go, they're out of it. Whenever I get there, they're out of it. And it's like no one has it, and I can't find it anywhere. I've been looking for this toy for weeks. Thou shalt not want. Yet, Uncle Michael, there's times when I really don't want something. Like, yeah, it'd be nice if I had it, but I don't really care. And all of a sudden, a week later, it shows up. My mom just bought me a car for college, and I didn't even want a car. And yet, I still can't get this little toy. It's a $5 toy that I really, 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 really want. Thou shalt not want. Are you not listening? So when I was 28 years old, I was going through this really, really, really deeply spiritual awakening. It was unbelievable. It was insane. It was amazing. It lasted for 6 months. So a really good friend of my girlfriend's, she was about 22 or 23, something like that. She met this guy who said he was a prince from Africa. He was no prince. He lied. And, of course, he got her pregnant, and now she's freaking out because she's an ultra-Christian. Her family's Christian. Her friends are Christian. And she's literally terrified they're going to ostracize her. So she went and got tested. She bought 5 home tests, and they all said she was pregnant. She made an appointment either with her doctor or with the clinic. She went down there. He gave her 2 tests, and, yeah, she's absolutely pregnant. So this young lady was just absolutely freaking out, and she was stressed out. And about 2 weeks went by, and for some reason, me, her, and my girlfriend, we were going to the mall together. It was weird because we never hung out like this before, but it was cool. And she was talking about this, and she was practically crying, and she's, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't tell my parents. And she was just so scared. And as we were walking towards the mall, something came into me. It's like, you can get rid of this child. It can come back another time, either later in her life or into someone else's life. And I just kind of looked up and like, what the hell was that? And I was like, oh, okay. So I looked at her, I'm like, are you sure you don't want this child? Are you 100% sure that you don't want it right now? She was, not now, later on, but not now. And so I was like, okay. And so I basically tuned into the spirit, and I said, would it be okay if you came back in another life or in another person, or, later on in her life when she was more prepared? And it was kind of a yes answer. I'm not going to explain it right now, but it was like, yeah, it wasn't kind of, it was absolute, like, yeah. And so I tuned into God, like, is everything okay with this? And they're like, yeah. So as we walked in the mall, I was like, are you absolutely sure? And I did this thing, and I imagined, and she said, yes, I'm 100% sure. And I imagined it dropping down, going all the way up through the mall, and there's a big crest in the center, and it dropped down the crest into the earth, and then it went back up to heaven. And I said to her, yeah, you're not pregnant anymore. She goes, what? I go, you're not pregnant anymore. But I didn't mention this, but before I did it, I said, I can actually do this for you. I can actually do this. She goes, oh, can you? I goes, yes, I can. And so I said, hey, you're not pregnant anymore. And she goes, what? I go, yeah, you're not pregnant. She goes, what are you talking about? Trust me, Michael, I got tested 7 times, 2 times at my doctor's. And like, trust me, I am telling you, you are not pregnant anymore. And right ahead of us, about probably, I don't know, 70 feet or something like that, was a Walgreens inside the mall. I said, let's go in there, let's get you 2 tests. You can do the test later on when you go home, and then make an appointment at the clinic or your doctor's and go get tested again. I guarantee it, you are not pregnant. So about a week later, sure enough, she comes to work, and she's like, oh my God, I'm not pregnant. You can't believe it. I went to my doctor, even he tested me 3 times. He couldn't believe it, blah, blah, blah. So here's the deal. When I did that, I just completely surrendered, let go, and opened up. The brakes were completely off. There was no thinking at all. There was just receiving and understanding and awareness and tuning into energy and literally feeling what was going on. That's all it was. There was no brakes. Completely expanded, wide open. And it was easy. It was so light. It was like the size of a mustard seed. Thou shalt not want. Are you listening yet? So, I don't know, about 7 years ago, I thought, I really should get some really nice business suits, etc., but I couldn't afford it. And I was like, well, now here's the deal. I'm not really a big guy, a big thing on business suits. Like, I finally got to the point where I really liked wearing nice dress pants, not dress slacks, but like designer jeans, I should say, and dress shoes and dress shirts, okay, and then a casual business dress jacket, okay. So I was like, man, I want some really nice suits, and I want like a real suit, slacks, jacket, etc. I wanted the whole deal, like expensive dress shoes, dress shirts, the whole 9 yards. But didn't really matter. I mean, I had a bunch of nice dress shirts, dress jackets. I was like, I didn't really need it. It's like, but I thought, man, that would be so cool. And it was like, well, what if? Write that phrase down. That's an important phrase. Yeah, but what if I just suddenly somehow got all these clothes and blah, 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 blah. And I imagine in my mind that I met someone and that the shirts were cut literally as if they were designed for me. I literally imagined that I got all these unbelievably like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 dollar suits, and the dress shirts were the most expensive dress shirts that they make, and that they were literally tailor-made, and they were cut to fit my shoulders, my waist, and all the way down to my wrist, exactly where they were supposed to be. And for some reason, I don't know why I did this, I imagine, but the only thing was the person was a little bit taller than me, and I just had to get the pants hemmed. So I got caught up in this daydream. Keyword daydream. I got so caught up in it that for a moment or for a while, it was as if I was really putting on these shirts. And I remember I imagined in my head that the person looked at me and said, "That's so weird. It looks like these were literally tailored to fit you, like they were made for you." Now, mind you, I didn't need them. I didn't really want them. And I definitely wasn't going to spend $5,000, $10,000 for these suits and dress jackets. I didn't have the money. Even if I did, I still wouldn't have done that. I mean, it would be nice, but it was so cool that when I got caught up in this daydream, I basically will lay down on my bed or on a couch and I'll just kind of get caught up. Wow, that'd be so cool. I just, like, remember when you were a little kid and you got caught up in your daydream in kindergarten, first grade, and there's that one bicycle you saw at the store, you really want it, and you just, because I actually did this, I imagine I was driving it and riding it with my friends. We're going over the little bridge that went over the creek, and I remember the teacher yells at me, goes, "Michael, stop daydreaming." I'm, huh, what? And, oh, sorry. I got so caught up in it, it was as if I was there. I could hear the water. I could see the tires on the ground going over the bridge, and I was smiling and laughing at my friends, etc. And guess what? For Christmas, my parents bought me that exact bike, and I had never told anyone that I liked that bike or that I even knew about it. So I contacted a client of mine who I was currently working with, said, "Hey man, mark this on your calendar. I'm going to get about 10 dress jackets, dress shirts. I'm going to get a few like winter coats, like uber expensive, like $5,000, $10,000 jackets. I'm going to get all these dress shirts that are worth $300, $400 each. And they're all going to be either brand new, never worn, or they're going to be worn once or twice. And I'm going to get at least 6 pairs or more of dress shoes." Okay. And he goes, "How?" He goes, "You can't afford that." I'm like, "No, dude, I'm telling you, it's going to happen in 30 days or less. Sure enough, my phone rings about, I'm going to guess, a week later, something like that. And I ended up meeting this person, and we did some work, blah, 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 and another one. And then he called me up and said, "Hey, man, I've got this party going on." Now, this guy was just uber rich, and he lived in an uber rich neighborhood, one of the richest cities in California, if not the United States, with some of the most powerful people in the world, from senators to congressmen to their lawyers, etc. And he goes, "Yeah," he's going to say, "So many senators going to be there, so many congressmen." They're like, "You're going to meet 2 Nobel Peace Prize winners." I was like, "Yeah, fuck, I'd love to be there." He goes, "Dude, people are going to love you, man." I was like, "All right, cool." So I went over there, and the party went great. And what ended up happening, I had to go to the bathroom. It was probably about 8 o'clock at night, 8:30, and everybody was like, he had a lot of bathrooms, by the way. He had 2 outside by the pool. He had 2 on the first floor. Downstairs had another one, and upstairs. But he had the thing roped off to where you couldn't go upstairs. And he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Man, I've got to go pee like right now." And he goes, "Well, go upstairs." I'm like, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Here's Mike." He goes, "I know you." He goes, "I don't know these people that well. I know you." It's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I went up there, went to the bathroom. And as I was walking out, he came out of his room from the other direction. And there was like a middle room, and there was a pile of brand new, freshly pressed shirts and everything closed. And I'm like, "Why are all those clothes on the ground like that? Should they be hanging up?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, those are mine." I'm like, "Well, are you upset or something?" He goes, No. He goes, "I lost 40 pounds because a friend of mine died of a heart attack, and it really freaked me out. So I've been on like this ultra diet for like," I don't remember the length of time. I'm going to guess it was about a year, but he lost 40 pounds because I can't wear those clothes anymore. I'm like, "Well, what are you going to do with them?" Because I'm thinking, God, I hope they fit me. And he goes, "Honestly," he goes, "I don't know." I'm probably just going to give it away to Goodwill or take it to a whatever, I forget, store. I'm like, "You're just going to give these clothes away?" And he goes, "Well, what else am I going to do with them?" I'm like, "Well, can I see if any of them fit me?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "That'd be great if they fit you." He goes, "I doubt it, but that'd be great." I put on the clothes, and literally, I'm trying on dress shirts and dress jackets, and he just goes, "This is the weirdest thing in the world." And he goes, "It looks like these shirts were tailor-made for you, like they were cut for you and designed for you. They fit perfectly." Except for the slacks. They were all about 1 inch to 1.5 inches too long, so I had to get them tailored. "Thou shalt not want." Are you not listening? Alright, so here's the deal. Here is the magic secret.
Feel the ground shaking underneath. Trying to take
If you notice, whenever you really want something, you can't get it, even if it only costs $5. But if you don't really want something, you think, but man, that'd be cool to have it. But it's not like you're going to go work and pay for it. You're like, nah, whatever, you know. That's when you get it. Because when you really want something, you don't get it. And here's why. Thou shalt not want. Are you not listening to me? What do most Christians believe when it comes to that phrase, thou shalt not want? They think it means you're not supposed to have anything. You're not supposed to be rich or have money. And I remember going to Pastor Rex and go, but it says right here in the Bible, like I say 100 times, maybe it was 2 or 3 dozen times, but it says a lot where God says, be wealthy, prosper, and live abundantly, etc., etc. I'm like, when God tells you to do something, I don't take that as a request. It's kind of a command. He goes, yeah, he's telling you to go out there and prosper and to live abundantly. So, what I learned in Hawaii was manifestation or prayer is imagine having. If you imagine wanting, that literally means that you don't have. So the image that you give to your unconscious mind that you send up to the spirit world is not having. The image is, oh, that bicycle's over there and I'm over here. That is not having. Having is holding it, owning it. It's yours. It's mine. I have it now. You have to imagine it like that. Like when I was daydreaming in school and the teacher yelled at me, and I literally was like, I was holding the handlebars, I'm looking at the bright yellow color, and I'm riding it over the creek, and I'm looking at the water, and my friends are laughing. I got so caught up in that dream that it became real. And that, my friends, is how you do it. Remember, Jesus said, thou shalt not want, because if you imagine wanting, you don't have. You want to imagine having. You have to feel it. Again, it's a real simple thing. It's the 5 senses. What would you feel like if you actually had that brand new car? You would be elated. You'd feel this excitement and this fun, or maybe it's relief or calm. But you have these emotions, and what does that represent? It's like it represents freedom. It represents excitement. It represents joy, a solid car, so I don't have to worry about it breaking down. Well, how would that make it? Make me feel really good, and I can sleep at night, blah, 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 blah. And so you have to feel those feelings. The minute you feel those feelings, see those colors, hear the sounds, hear yourself, what would you say if you owned it? Would you say, yeah, that would be nice if I had it? No, that you wouldn't say that. You'd be, oh my God, I can't believe I have this car. It's so amazing. This is incredible, blah, 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 blah. Say it the way you would have it. See it the way you would have it. Feel it the way you would have it. If you try hard, you know, like it's a really heavy, it's really heavy. I really want it. I really want it. I really want it. You can't have it because it works only when it's, I have a mustard seed. I'm not afraid to use it. When it's the size of a mustard seed. So here's the deal. It's not about trying hard, because that literally is closing the door and you're pushing the door closed really hard. It has to literally be like, okay, let's say there's a pen or a pencil on a table, and I'll ask you a question. Do you believe, and tell me the truth, don't lie to me, don't bullshit me. Do you honestly believe you can walk over here and grab that pencil and pick it up? Yes or no? Don't give me some bullshit answer. Yes or no? Obviously the answer is yes, of course. And that is it right there. Well, of course I can do that. The moment you have that faith, of course, it's done. So I said to my niece, I'm like, well, you just gave me the answer. I go, you already know the answer. All you have to do is listen to yourself. Whenever you don't really want something, when it's not that, listen closely. When it's not that big of a deal, what did you say? Not that big of a deal. In other words, the size of a mustard seed, like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. That's when you get it. So one of the best times to manifest or pray for something is when you're in a good mood, when things are light, or if you're stressed out, the energy will create it. But you have to get to the point where, see, that energy puts you into that imagination and it pulls it to you. It's like, I don't know, it doesn't pull it. That's the wrong way to say it. Because you don't push or pull, you let go. So whenever you're in a state of fear, like you need money now, that's the best time to pray. Or when you're just like something like you just completely let go and you're in a loose mood, you listen to good music. I will notice times when I'm just there, I can feel it, and that's when I go lay down and I imagine having it.
I'll be standing on my own.
Hey everyone, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Please click that link right there in the description box. It'll take you to my website. It'll show up on my analytics and let me know that you're there. And you can find my coaching pages for narcissist abuse healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, energy healing, dating and relationship coaching. There's a brand new series of discoveries that I made that changes everything when it comes to men and women finally understanding and teaching men how to give women mentally stimulating and emotionally fulfilling and meaningful communication. Alright guys, go ahead and click the subscribe button, click the like button, make a comment, and if you feel like it, go ahead and make a donation right there in the description box. About halfway down there is a link to PayPal and you can make a donation there. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.